Hi everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Crashmo, and welcome to the second bonus video. So now we are going to the extras menu here, where I first show off the carrier birds for a second, since I didn't really show off the extras menu. You can see a bunch of birds here. They give you some advice on the game. Yeah, not much else to it. They just do that. You can look at them. They all have pretty similar hairstyles or similar colors, and that's all there is to it. So now we shall go to the prototypes. There's only 10 of these prototypes, and the whole appeal of these, as Papa Blocks is about to explain here, is how these are more three-dimensional puzzles. And what I mean by that is, instead of just moving them around in 3 dimensions, they actually have different layers of depth to them. Every certain pieces can have 2, 3, or even weirder like arrangements to look more like actual things, whatever they may be representing. So another thing to keep in mind with these in particular, now this won't be as big of a deal in the video, since all of the, how can I put it, all of the actual footage that you're seeing is currently at 30 frames per second. When you're playing this on hardware or like on Citra or something, the game normally is running at 60 FPS, except during the prototype sections, where it chops the frame rate in half to keep it intact. You might think it's weird at first, especially seeing these first 2 puzzles, but as you're about to see, they get a lot more complex, and the shapes get they get pretty actually ambitious for what they're going for. They're almost going for like a 8-bit 3D. It's kind of like if you remember that 8-bit Mario amiibo that came out for, I think, Mario Maker. And they kind of made it like a 3-dimensional figure and everything. I believe that this sort of is trying to... The art style for these puzzles are trying to emulate something like that, which is kind of cool. So as you will also see, this video, this bonus video, is a lot longer, and that's because these 10 puzzles are a lot more traditional in comparison to... Traditional in the sense that they're longer and they're more complex than like the training missions, which you've seen from the bonus 1 set. So yeah. So I believe after this puzzle is when we're going to start seeing basically 3D murals. And those can get pretty difficult. And difficult in the sense of just more looking at where you need to go. And less so in actually having to push or pull blocks. Funny enough, I think if Crashmo was a lot more focused on these 3D puzzles, I think it may have been a bit more accessible and easier, and would have led to, like, I don't know, it might have been a slightly better game without having like this brutal difficulty to it. I guess another thing to keep in mind with it too with this game is, or not this game, but with the setup is, if you are itching for puzzles that look more like this, these 3D puzzles, these fully 3D multi-layered puzzles, I would recommend checking out Stretchmo, since that seems like a proper evolution of what these prototypes were trying to pull off. Alrighty, so here we go. Here's our first proper mural, which is supposed to be basically like the Pantheon. I think that's what it's called. It says it down there, but I'm looking at my editing software while commentating, so I can't really read what the touchscreen says right now. This is pretty simple. What you're just trying to do is get that top half to fall down, and then use that sort of centerpiece there to get towards the top. It's pretty enjoyable. And I guess I should put a note here, since I haven't actually talked about the sources. I put all the sources to anything Crashmo related that I talked about in this series in the description. And specifically, I didn't bring anything up for the prototypes, since no one has really covered the prototypes. But or not the prototypes, I meant to say the training videos. But for the prototypes, yeah, for the prototypes, there is a guide in English on the IGN Wiki guide for Crashmo, which is pretty useful, and It's very helpful. It's very thorough. I mean, that IGN wiki guide is very good. It's just incomplete with the later stuff. But yeah, no, the prototypes are on there. So if you don't want to hear my disgusting voice, I do have a link to the IGN wiki guide in the description, so you can read that instead of having to hear my obnoxious voice. Alrighty, so we have the house here. The house is actually a bit more of an interesting puzzle, since this is a lot of these early 3D, these prototype puzzles that are in Crashmo are focused on like obscuring the view of what you're able to do, and it's more so moving the camera around that helps you to figure it out. You'll see what I mean in a minute here. You'll see what I mean in a couple of the later puzzles, since, as I said earlier, these are difficult, but not so much for pushing blocks as it is more for navigation. As you can see here, there's actually a little block down there that you wouldn't be able to see unless you move the camera around. I don't think the prototypes fully accommodate for these, but given the fact that this game makes it known that these are sort of just more weird experimental ideas that the developers are working with, it never feels as if like, oh, these are meant to be like in Crashmo. These are just them kind of messing around with ideas, and that's pretty cool. I kind of like it when games kind of allow, well, when developers allow like players to sort of do unfinished bits of ideas that they were working on for a said game, you know, like either through like a cheat system or like an unlockable, like, ooh, here's an interesting bonus level, and it's like completely different from the main game. I think like, I guess the most notable examples I would think of is like some of the old Tony Hawk games, or I think Rayman 2 on the PS1. I never played that one, but yeah, that had like a playable version of the 2D Rayman 2, which was never finished, which is interesting. I like that kind of stuff. Kind of wish more games would do it, though I understand why it's not always done. But yeah. So yeah, if you see here, we have the dragon. Now, if you remember, the dragon was the final puzzle of all the regular campaign of Crashmo. This is puzzle 140. Here, it's a lot easier. You mostly have to get the wing inside to drop down. You climb up towards the top, and then you just sort of navigate yourself towards the face. It's not too hard from here. But yeah, it's cool. It's honestly, this puzzle's really fun, and it's a lot more fun than the actual dragon puzzle in regular Crashmo. That's what I can say for most of the prototype puzzles. I believe the next one's also one of like the late puzzles in Crashmo as well. I believe the next one is the robot. And the robot is, I think, the only 3-star prototype. And that one is unbelievably fun. It's hard, and you're going to see me have a cut here because I messed up. Because you can't mess it up, but this one is pretty cool. And yeah, you know, I wouldn't put it as a 3-star. I would say it's probably like maybe a 4-star or something. But these are fun. These are really enjoyable. And I mean, I guess Intelligent Systems knew that, since they would go on to make Stretchmo, which sort of expands on the sort of 3D concept, not quite giving you the full free range of motion of the blocks, but hey. Yeah, and the thing that kind of stinks is I think the robot would have been a perfect final puzzle, but instead they actually, the next, like, what is it? I think we're on 7? So yeah, we have, what, 3 puzzles after this? Yeah, the next 3 puzzles after this are pretty easy. Like, you don't really need to move blocks around, you just need to, like, find the path, which is just, oh, we navigate. Which isn't bad, but, you know, I wouldn't call that nearly as interesting, I guess. Okay, so, as for the puzzle here, for the robot puzzle, I'm trying to get that, so you basically want to, you want to take off the legs of the robot, and you want to take that chest plate and move it all the way to the left. I usually do it towards the left, since I go with, I usually move it towards the left, goodness, so that I can go to use the left. I guess it's his right arm, but I'm going to refer to it as his left or face. Okay, it's his right arm, but like it's the left side. We're trying to go up there, use the chest plate as an extra step to get towards the shoulder. And then from here, we don't have to worry about any bottoms. We don't have to worry about anything on the, well, okay, we need to push that, but that was the only thing we had to worry about on the bottom. But after that, everything is just pretty much up on the head, which isn't too bad. So I tried to do a cool jump here by just trying to do one of those one-block diagonal jumps, which is possible, but I suck. So it's always important to keep in mind with this. I suck at this game. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so after this, right, we get the eyes off, and then we pretty much make a path towards the top. Yeah. Like I said, this is a really fun puzzle. I really enjoyed this one. First time and multiple times playing it. It's great. It's genuinely great. Yeah. Nothing bad to say about it. Right, so I believe the next one is... Okay, no, it's the grand piano. The one I'm thinking of is after this. Grand piano is really easy. There's a lot to see here, but it's mostly just navigating. It's really huge, so I zoom it out just so you can get a good idea of what we're doing. So what we're really going to do here is pull out this bottom block where the manhole cover is, go towards the actual keys of the piano, move all the way to the left side where we're able to actually go up along the I guess, casing of the piano. And then from there, we literally just walk around. We walk around to the open door portion and get towards the top. Because, yeah, it's, like I said, it's really easy. Yeah, the flag's all the way up there. I think I tried doing a zoom out earlier so you could see the flag. Because I don't think you can unless you're pretty much on the piano. So yeah, we're pretty much just moving along the edge of the piano here and going up the steps. That's it. Honestly, this one takes so long, mostly just because, you know, I guess Mallow doesn't feel like Mallow moves slow, but I guess for these really big puzzles, it does feel like it, but I would say that's pretty much only exclusive to this one here, and maybe the next one. So, yeah. Next one is a tree. It's a big tree. That we call it a giant tree. This one is literally a spiral staircase to the top. We move like one block and then get to the top. It's pretty simple. Yeah, the doors inside are essentially just distractions. I don't know why they're there except to waste time. Like, you're not going to mess up and have to like restart the puzzle or something. You just kind of go around. So yeah. I didn't feel the need to zoom out for this one just because it's a pretty straightforward... it's a straightforward shot to the top. You just have to move the camera in the right way, since occasionally you get things like that where either the stump is blocking the way or the actual leaves are blocking it. But yeah. After that, we move the yellow block, and then we essentially just have to kind of do a spiral staircase around to the flag. It's a little hard to understand. It's hard to really explain since it's mostly just camera angle stuff. But yeah, just make sure not to fall down until you've seen all your angles and sort of see like, okay, this is the way I'm supposed to go. And that's it. All right, last puzzle of all of Crashmo for all of Let's Play Crashmo. It's the floating castle. And you know what? Well, I was criticizing that the last two puzzles are a little too easy, especially after the robot. I'm honestly cool with the game ending. Like, with this section ending on a pretty straightforward and easier puzzle. It's almost more like a reward, like, hey, check out this cool thing we made. And less of a, oh, you know, we need to give you the ultimate challenge. Sometimes it's nice to just show off, like, hey, we made this cool looking thing. So I move around the castle at first for some reason, and I don't know why, there's no reason to. I literally just need to go around the back, where there's a staircase above the walls of the castle. And from there, you gotta slowly get there. Trying to think if there's any yeah, no, I don't really think we need it. So here's the only block that we need to pull inside the castle. We have to pull out that blue outline and just drop it, I believe, either one block or two, I think it's just one. Okay. From there, you're gonna see those little staircases on the left and right. We literally just need to navigate up there. I use the left one in this case. And you'll see a little hole on the roof. I don't know why I'm still deliberating with the actual frame when I don't need to. But yeah, you'll see sort of those holes on the roof up there. I think that's what I use this camera angle for. So then from there, we literally just... Well, if I stop messing up so much. Goodness. Yeah, no, with the frame in the way, it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, we just move, jump out from there, and that's it. This is all of Crashmo. So I hope you've all enjoyed the series, and yeah, you all have a good one.